So the sons of Aaron, the high priests, you had the prophets, and you also had the kings. This made up the Messiah or
notifications off,
as a whole. As a whole. Now, for an individual, one and only Messiah,
I really
that
didn't
was
want
made
to
up
get into
by the Roman Catholic Church. And they told you that a human man was now a lamb that can be an atonement for your sins.
Who is this dude? He's a non-messianic.
Called the Original Testament or the Torah and the Tanakh. Sacrifices were animals that the God of Israel, required. And he didn't require sacrifice, but it was, if you were offering an animal for atone for your sin, it had to be without blemish.
Right.
And it had to be from the firstlings of your flock. It was never a human being, because human beings' lives are very delicate. The Most High is the creator of life, so he don't want life or blood being shed by man on man's hand.
That's not necessarily true. We see
right.
all the time where God Yahweh was a shedder of blood. He made his business to make sure blood was shed.
When you say a shedder of blood, it's coming from the creator. Okay, he used nations to go against nations as a chastisement, just like he did for the children of Israel.
Well, what does that mean? That change the nature of the thing, though. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Rhea. Go ahead, and then see.
You're good. I was gonna say your God definitely did accept human sacrifice.
Show me that. Show me that in scripture. Where he accepted human sacrifice.
Do you know who Jephthah is?
Let us finish her statement, okay?
Who?
Jephthah. I don't know if I'm saying his name right.
Jephthah. Yeah, in the Book of Judges. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, Jephthah, he chose to do that.
I understand the story, right? But the sacrifice was made, correct?
Yeah, he sacrificed, but the Most High didn't accept it.
I understand what he did, but did he sacrifice his daughter, a human being?
He did that of his own.
And did the God accept it or reject it?
He didn't accept it.
I'm sorry?
He didn't accept it.
What was the deal?
Jephthah said, if I go to war, he's speaking to the Most High, saying, if I go to war and you help me prevail against these nations, I will sacrifice the first thing that comes to my door.
Correct.
And when he got home, it came to his door, it was his daughter.
Okay. So
now, just because he won
hold on, relax. So the deal was,
they're always cutting you off.
Deliver these people.
I don't really want to talk to you.
If I win here, if I get victory, right, then I will sacrifice whatever comes out of my door. This is an all-knowing God, right? The God gives him victory and already knows what will be walking or who would be walking through that door. Does he not?
Yeah.
Okay, then, right? So the Most High knew already that it would be Jephthah's daughter, right? And when he comes back home and ends up sacrificing his daughter, at what point does Yahweh say no?
You have to understand, when the Creator answers us, okay, it's according to his law, right? So the children of Israel was always.
The law? What was the law about making a sacrifice like that?
Okay, if you go to the book of Leviticus, it would tell you that the Creator does not want you to sacrifice unto him like the nations do.
Well, I thought you were going to Deuteronomy, the law that says once you make a sacrifice unto the Lord, you are to fulfill it.
No, I wasn't going there.
Okay, so that's where
I was going to the book of Leviticus.
Sorry,
Leviticus.
Go ahead.
Yes, sorry. Just to throw Leviticus is tricky in this topic, right? Because chapter 27 is actually pretty explicit about this.
Exactly.
So, from an editorial perspective, obviously there's a discussion to be had, but I don't know what your thoughts are on the formation of the Pentateuch. So, But Leviticus is tricky. So yeah, just bear that in mind.
No problem. Yeah. When it comes to sacrifices, when they made it, it was either animals or even flour. It was never to be a human being.
Yeah, so even in Leviticus, it tells you that you could sacrifice a human being, but they could be ransomed, right? So there were different kinds of sacrifices.
Give us a book, chapter,
there
verse.
There were different kinds of sacrifices that your God accepted. In the case of Jephthah, right, he would have made a vow to God, and he would have had to fulfill that vow. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're talking about a vow.
Yeah, and there's a law for that, is there not?
And there's vows that children of
Israel
made.
Is there a law for making a vow to Yahweh?
Yes.
Okay, and what does that say?
When you make a vow or oath, you shall keep it.
Okay, does it say only for rice and grains?
It's just a vow, period.
Does it say only for rice and grains?
It's a vow, period. Whatever you make a vow for, you should keep it.
So, for example, Jephthah here made a vow to God, and he kept it. So let's move on to the sacrifice part. He sacrifices his daughter, and you said Yahweh rejected it. Could we find that part in the Bible?
Did the children of Israel go back into captivity?
I'm talking about Jephthah, please.
Yes, but he was a children of Israel,
was he not? He refused. Your words were Yahweh refused. He did not accept.
You gotta show me where before we go there. Show me where. Before we go there, show me where human sacrifices was accepted.
Where I'm literally giving you where it is.
Nah, you ain't giving me.
What are you talking about? I'm giving you an example right here.
I can take you to the law. I can take you to the law where he doesn't accept human sacrifice.
Yes. David,
what law does it say that?
David, do me a favor, and for anyone that's coming up on panel, when one of the co-hosts is addressing you, please do me a favor and do not speak over them. Your sentences just not start in the middle or touch theirs. So until they're finished speaking, please just don't speak. It makes it harder for us to hear in the comment section and on the panel. We just want to be able to track the conversation and engage as well. So
that's their excuse to keep their co-host
can you
talking.
reiterate what you were saying and then respond to her, David?
Yeah, he says there's a law that says no human sacrifice. Where does he say that?
Yes. Human sacrifice is an abomination.
Okay, where does it say that?
Need me to find it for you or what?
Yeah, nigga.
All right, give me a second.
You should have had that ready. He typing now.
I do find that interesting because, I mean, like, you just wagged your finger at her when she said that there's something in Leviticus.
Gay,
you said book,
man.
chapter, and verse if you're going to spit it out. And
you sound
surprised that she's holding you to that same standard.
Gay.
I also find it interesting that if God was so against human sacrifice when Jephthah made that promise, God would have said, hey, yeah, don't make that promise because it could be a human and I don't like human sacrifices. Like, just because somebody offers something, if I have a standard for not accepting it, then I'm not going to accept it. I'm not going to agree to the terms of what's been offered.
And I mean, like, this just goes to a broader principle, right? I mean, if you think about what's said by the nation as they're coming up out of Egypt and coming into Canaan, and about the city of Arad, they made a vow, like, we will dedicate the city of Arad to Harem, right? And that's what Yahweh gave them victory over, and that's what they did. So, like, I think this is more complicated than maybe what's being
weirdo, man.
understood here.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to explain to him. I'm not talking. If we want to talk about the Haram sacrifices and all the other sacrifices that your Yahweh accepts, we can talk about that. But I'm talking about this particular one here. We can accept that he made a vow, right? But the part where you're saying Yahweh rejects it, I don't see that.
Do you see where he accepted, though?
Is David still looking for the verse?
Yeah. This is Deuteronomy chapter 12.
What verse, nigga?
Deuteronomy chapter 12. What verse, beloved?
This is weird. Why am I here? I hate being here, Father. It seems like you pull me into these things, man. I don't even be wanting to be here. I don't want to talk to them. I'm like, I don't know why, man.
Okay.
Maybe it's arrogance or whatever.
Start at 29, okay?
I don't think they're on my level to be talking with. Man.
Okay.
Okay. You want to read it?
I'll read it. The Lord your God will cut off before you the nations you are about to invade and dispossess.
Well, thank God, because that's probably
not to be ensnared by inquiring about their gods, saying, how do these nations serve their gods? We will do the same. You must not worship the Lord your God in their way, because in worshiping their gods, they do all kinds of detestable things the Lord hates. They even burn their sons and daughters in the fire as sacrifices to their gods. Didn't Yahweh command the Israelites to do the same?
No, he did not.
She knows they did. She's asking a lot of dumb questions, man. That's what I hate about her,
verse
man.
where it says he hates it. It's
Yeah, like you just read it.
Abomination is something that he hates.
You just read it.
Disgusting.
You just read it.
Detestable.
Hold on one second, David. Go ahead.
So that's the complicating nature of this discussion, right? See, I would encourage you to read the work of like Heath Durrell.
I read the work of I read the word of the Creator, not man. I give you another witness. Let's go to Deuteronomy.
But let me just
David,
Let's go to. I'm gonna give you another precept.
David, one moment, please. Dr. Bowens, go ahead.
I realize that this is exciting for you, David, but
oh man, shut your gate, man. See, that's why I don't have the decorum. I really don't. I don't have the decorum to deal with them,
is
man.
That they're engaging not only with the biblical data, but with the wider ancient
Near East, gay.
right? And the complexity of the
intellectually
concern
gay
for child sacrifice in the Hebrew Bible is one that there's not univocality in the text, and even when you have passages that are making statements like in Exodus or even in Leviticus, you have passages with which they are in tension, and that's why Ria was talking about Leviticus 27, right? You have there at the end of the chapter statements about not being able to redeem those that have been dedicated to that particular type of sacrifice. And so, like, there's not this univocality, I think, that you're assuming in the text, and I think that's complicating this discussion.
Yeah, and I was going to bring up Heath Durrell's work, but he specifically talks about Exodus 22, verses 28 through 30. And in that verse is where Yahweh is saying, the firstborn of your sons you shall give to me. And he says, you shall
She
do
knows
the same
that
with
don't
your
mean
oxen and
sacrifice.
with your sheep. 7 days it shall remain with his mother. On the 8th day you shall give it to me. And what Durrell says there is, like, there is no expectation. Like, from that reading, there's no expectation for the 7-day-old infant to be given back to his mother.
She knows that don't mean human sacrifice. She knows that.
Okay. Well, in that particular chapter and verse,
you think she don't know that?
Give me your firstborn. He said he's meaning not like you would sacrifice an animal. You know this
is why I pointed out.
Are you gonna tell her to stop cutting him off?
7 days it stays with his mother, right? And then on the 8th day,
you never told her to be quiet.
Right. So what Durrell is pointing out
did not
is that
fair
there is no
on you.
expectation
That's why we want to talk to them.
For a 8-day-old infant to be given back to its mother after it's been with its mother for 7 days, and then given to the Lord on the 8th day. Like there's no expectation for it to go back, and he's saying, do the same with your sheep and your oxen.
Yeah, but I just wanted to show you that in the law. But there's nothing more that we never even have to do a sacrifice for the Most High to hear our prayers, or for the Most High to redeem His people. or just the righteous? Because his people are the righteous as a whole.
Thank you, Matt.
Because it was one law.
I'm kind of really ready for him to go.
The homeborn and the foreigner. So this is what made up the Most High's people, the righteous. The righteous was his peculiar treasure that he called Israel.
Yeah, I mean, this just feels like a dodge off of the pointed critique of your position here.
Yeah.
But let me show you something, that you don't need no cross to benefit you or a human sacrifice.
Why don't you deal with the thing that Thinker just said? Why don't you engage with that?
Yeah, I'm going to continue to engage with it. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel.
Right, so you're going to cite a passage that shows that the text does not have univocality. That's the point that I'm making here. But you have to deal with the text in Exodus. That's the point. Right? This is why. Just let me.
I don't want my camera.
Yeah.
Look, come out.
But I will if you keep talking over people.
She Thinker talked over him.
This is complicated. So, like,
I got too much. I don't have enough patience, man.
Claims of like monolatry and passages that speak to that monotheism. The situation, you don't have univocality in these texts, right? So, like, what Deuteronomy 32, for example, is doing is trying to maintain the tradition that the scribal school was, handed down to them, but yet trying to.
But you're atheist, correct? You're atheist too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure what my thoughts on a deity have to do with understanding of the text.
He didn't. He just asked you, bro.
It's okay. But
he
I guess the point that I'm trying to make
man.
is that pointing to another text that says something different, it would be equivalent to saying, no, you can't. It can't mean that animals were created after man was created in Genesis 2, because look at Genesis 1. It says they were created before, right? That's sort of an appeal to another creation story. Only, it betrays that you believe there's univocality.
Who is this gay ass nigga? Like I can't. I'm not supposed to.
Did you understand what I said? Yeah. Did you understand that?
Yeah, I definitely understand.
Can you just restate it back to me so I understand?
And there was two separate creation stories.
Okay, so you understand that appealing to Genesis 1 about the order of creation would not help, to say that the order of creation should be understood differently from what the Hebrew says in Genesis chapter 2, right? Because you're not looking at univocality.
Well, the Hebrew, we all know that the scriptures, when it was translated, it was corrupted.
Yeah, I don't know why you said that, right?
I say that to say this. This is not, the Bible was not given by the Creator. There was no such thing called the Bible. They had Hebrew scrolls.
See, I don't know why you're going off on this.
Let me speak now.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to speak to the topic. Yeah, you have to engage with the topic.
So just be quiet for a second.
Just be quiet for a minute. I won't do that, my guy.
You notice how she ain't cutting him off.
What everybody's doing is a waste of time.
She's
not dodging
the topic. You absolutely are. You've gone to
translations. You're a doctor, you have all the knowledge. I
definitely don't think that. But nice try. Live your best life.
First of all,
the question.
David, I need you to exhibit some self-control.
Thank you.
You will be able to speak when it's your turn. You don't get to bogart this.
He didn't do that. I can't do it with him, man.
You're over talking everyone.
How is he over talking? That man started. I don't like this. Y'all not fair.
I'm giving you ample opportunity to speak. This conversation
You have not.
Yes,
You're lying. That man started cutting him off.
Like, you're still not gonna be able to talk. You're just gonna keep fighting the button. Like, you're not gonna be able to talk until someone else is done talking.
All right. Well, y'all have a good day and stick to being a slave.
Have the day you deserve.
Yeah.
Because what?
Part of the reason why these conversations are so frustrating was demonstrated by
Oh,
what David
God.
just did. Like, he jumped from one topic to the next.
Jesus Christ,
kind of painted
man.
themselves into a corner.
I don't even know why I'm
Are you an
here.
atheist? Which doesn't make any sense, because asking if we are an atheist doesn't resolve the contradictions that we've just pointed out.
Shut up,
It
bitch.
doesn't
Shut up,
speak
man.
to what we're
I
talking
don't
about.
know
It just
why
shifts
I'm
the
here.
focus. I was talking with somebody the other
I
day,
don't
and
know
we were
why
saying
I'm
how
here.
asking that question is like pointing. If somebody pointed out a structural crack in a bridge, and just because the person who pointed it out is
Oh
not an
my
engineer,
God,
doesn't mean that the crack
man.
isn't there.
They're
Right?
very
It's
strange
just a
fruit.
deflection from what's being pointed out.
They're
and
gonna
he
kick me
clearly
off.
didn't
I already
engage with
know.
it, and that's so
I
frustrating.
don't
because
have
it
the
doesn't make
tolerance for
fruitful
them.
conversation.
Well, here
Right.
it my turn. Come on.
Right. I apologize for that, y'all. I really want to be able to have some really great conversations. We have a lot of like ground that we can cover here, a lot of low hanging fruit to have some really good conversations. And I would hate for them to be derailed by the fact that we can't have adults that have the ability to have self control and not speak over one another. Wednesday's live went really well. I want to try and continue that same kind of calm-ish energy. So let's try and be respectful on the panel. And if you can't handle being respectful on the panel, the comment section is just as comfy. Okay, you just can't talk as much. Guess who? How are you?
Hello. How are you?
I'm well. So we have like 3 bullet points today. The first one is, how does the cross benefit humanity today? The second one is, does God have favorites amongst believers? And the third one is strange fruit. For those that just came in, there's certain words that I had a really clever prompt for this one, the strange fruit. But basically, I want to ask, right, especially to Black Christians and believers in the God of the Christian Bible, why is it that we are so reticent to show homage and honor to the cross of Calvary, where if you believe that God is real or that Jesus is truly the Messiah, we honor his sacrifice on a cross, where they hung him up on a tree, basically. And we wear crosses around our necks. We have crosses in our homes. We have crosses on our cars. We have crosses everywhere. But even if you posit that to be true, and that is not your God, or that is not your ancestor, that is someone else's ancestor, would you also wear a noose around your neck as jewelry? Would you wear would you hang nooses around your home to remind you of the sacrifice made by those that came before you? Would you get nooses tattooed on your bodies?
Oh, all right. Well, I want to deal with 2 things. I want to deal with the how does the cross benefit humanity today, and
only pick one for now. Go ahead and pick
all right.
one.
Well, for now, let me get your let me ask a question. What do you mean by strange fruit? What do you mean by it? Do you?
So I just explained that.
So I have to clarify before I start talking. So you say, so let me get this straight. You're saying strange fruit, meaning your definition or your interpretation of strange fruit is Black people wearing crosses. Is that, am I correct?
No, lynchings and crucifixions.
Well, yeah, that's what I just said. I just said that. I just said Black people wearing crosses. You know what I mean?
Not wearing crosses. Lynchings and crucifixions.
Mm-hmm.
What about lynchings and crucifixions is my question. What about them?
You asked what she meant by strange fruit.
Yeah,
Strange fruit are the lynchings, and the cross is the crucifixion.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, guess who? Let me paint this for you.
Thank you.
So do you wear a cross around your neck as a jewelry? Have you ever worn a cross around your neck? Seen people wear crosses around their neck?
I've seen. Yeah.
Have tattoos and things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is to honor the sacrifice made by Jesus Christ on the cross of Calvary for the sins of humanity. Whatever.
Yes.
Okay. You have ancestors that were hung from trees.
True.
That were also hung from trees.
True.
And their sacrifices aren't honored in that way. We don't even think to look back to learn about them or to honor them at all. Would you wear a noose around your neck?
Well, that's a great question, and I find it very good and then creative that you call that strange fruit, because
I didn't call it. That's what That was a song I heard. What was that? Nina Simone?
It was a song called "Strange Fruit" talking about lynchings and crosses.
It was about lynching, not necessarily crosses, but it was about lynching. Yeah.
Oh, well, I just was unaware of that.
Billie Holiday. Thank you. Sorry.
Billie Holiday. Okay, so it's still creative because you got it.
I thought it was Nina Simone too.
We could be wrong.
They might have.
It might. I don't know. I could look it up though, but
the South had a lot of strange fruit.
That's still strange fruit because for you to even.
There is a book by James Cone called "The Cross and the Lynching Tree." If you really want to get technical with it.
Well, yeah.
How it compares the two.
Yeah, I didn't think this day would come, but I must say that I'm in total agreement with that. I've never worn crosses, and I didn't even understand why I didn't. But until I got the understanding of it, is that the cross itself is pagan, but much like your Christian traditions like Easter and Christmas, a lot of those were infused in the the understanding of the early people of the church, whatever. During everybody knows it comes from the Council of Nicaea, and just a lot of different infusions of paganism. So no, and of course no, I will not wear a noose on my neck because that's highly disrespectful. Nor will I wear a gun on my neck. If one of my younger cousins got killed by a gun with a switch on it, I'm not going to wear or represent something that that represents a capital punishment of some sort. But as far as me idolizing that or turning it into an idol, no, I can't do that. And but that's a pagan influence that was attached to the Bible, because nowhere in the scripture tells you to erect or build up or wear a cross. And black people really should though we're the ones that do it a lot. I'm not saying we're the ones that do it the most, but we do that a lot. Wear crosses and even getting tattoos. That's biblically illegal. You're not even supposed to get a tattoo. So, and then you get a tattoo of a cross. And I'm of the understanding of all Negroes are of Negro descent, descend from the children of Israel. So Jesus was a black man. So why you as a black man would wear a cross? Well, that's your opinion, ma'am. I'm talking about where my stance is. I said I believe that all Negroes descend from the children of Israel. That includes a tribe of Judah, which you would call, in short, Jews. And Jesus.
But just because you believe that, Gues.
Well, ma'am, I'm not talking. Look, I wasn't even finished talking. I'm not. That's not even the point.
Let me just clarify. Like, you're not here to monologue. I've been letting you speak. I've given you the floor for a good little while now. So if another co-host wants to interject and speak, they're able to do so, and you're going to allow it.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say is just because you believe a thing, that doesn't make it true. I mean, and if you're going to posit a claim, then you have to substantiate that claim. Like, you have to demonstrate, like, using some sort of historical, archaeological evidence to show that this Jesus was actually a black person, and that
I can do that.
Came from.
I could do that very well, and I could do that. I could do that on infinite. I could do that till eternity. That's not a problem. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, well, yeah, I could make a claim, but
and you also have to substantiate it.
Oh my goodness, I'm substantiating my claim now. Black people shouldn't be participating in it because we are from the children of Israel.
That's the claim again. I need you to substantiate the claim you made the first time.
All right, so what am I actually substantiating?
Hold on 1 second. Jesus, little bruh. Do not write in all caps in my comments. That goes for everybody, friendlies or not. If you're not a moderator, there's no reason why you're writing in all caps. I don't care enough.
And I think part of the reason we have these conversations about substantiating claims is the fact that they think it's only required in court. No, and that's just
look. I have no problem. I have no problem substantiating a claim.
Guess who? I wasn't.
Of course you weren't. Go ahead.
Yeah. The problem is that if you make a positive claim, then you have to show us how you reach that conclusion. Like, you can't just say something and then we're just supposed to accept it because you said it. That's just not how evidence works. It's not only required in a court.
Ma'am,
it should be required for all of us.
Ma'am, I put that statement out whether you accept it or not. But if you want me to,
Substantiate it.
no, yeah, I could. It's not a problem. But y'all would definitely agree that would just veer off from what I was really talking about. I didn't really want to do that.
Substantiate your claim.
Okay, real simple. I just made a statement that black people are the children of Israel, right? Now we proved that through not only the description of the children of Israel and what they look like and all that. We also describe that through prophecy. You read the book of Deuteronomy. See, y'all familiar with this. So I'm not giving y'all nothing that you're not familiar with. So I'm just going to you either going to agree or disagree. And I know y'all disagree. So I'm just going to tell you.
Hold on. What was
Oh,
the
my goodness.
what they look like, you said?
Yeah. The description of what they look like. Now, if you go to Revelation, first, look, y'all asking me to substantiate something.
You're just making more claim after claim.
Never mind. That's fine.
Where is it?
I'm trying to tell you, but I'm trying to tell you. I said, I just told you. I said Deuteronomy 28:68. That's one. Revelation 1:14-15. All right. So y'all want me to go point by point, but really this is not what I'm talking about. I didn't really want to talk about this.
Which one? 28 what?
Deuteronomy 28:68. We're really the 28th chapter period. After you could start from the first verse on to the 68th verse, or you could begin at the 15th verse to the 68th verse. That's just
but guess who? That's the
Hey man, look. You asked me what I.
Stop interrupting, please.
Why are you doing that?
Because it's not what I'm talking about though. It's really not.
That's fine. But when you make claims here on this panel, we're going to request substantiation for those.
That's fine.
And if it leads into your point, that's fine. But you can't just say things and expect no one to push back on what you're saying.
I didn't ask for a pushback. I don't really. I'm not asked for a pushback.
Go ahead. Don't interrupt me.
Sorry. I thought Rhea was asking for a verse about the way that ancient Israelites looked.
Oh God! I said Revelation 1:14-15, Lamentations.
Right. That's the only reason. Guess who? The only reason that I was talking is I didn't want to waste time on the Deuteronomy 28:68 because I think
that's you.
Connect that to prophecy, right?
Well, I look before y'all.
Returning to Egypt and slave ships.
No, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I clarified what my position. This is why I don't like coming up. Yeah, I was clarifying my positions of why I said what I said. I said prophecy, also the description, and and basically that's what I brought forth so far. So if you're gonna disagree with prophecy, then that's fine. But we don't.
Wait, hold on. But I didn't ask about prophecy. I said, what was the description of the Israelites that you said match black people?
Yeah. The Song of Solomon.
The who?
Song of Solomon. I think it's the 5th chapter.
What is it?
I think it's the 5th chapter. I don't know. I can't recall offhand.
Is it where he says, I am black and comely or something
No,
like that?
No, we know that's talk about the Shulamite women. So I know. I said 5. Song of Solomon. I think it's the 5th chapter, maybe where she's talking about description of him having locks as dark black as a raven. Then you have Job, the book of Job 30 and 30. Y'all go write these down.
So you realize that locks doesn't only refer to our locks, our hair.
Really? Okay. Well, that's your opinion, man. But I know primarily the people.
Let's pull up the verse.
That's fine. But let me, Jody, Job 30 and 30.
What was Song of Solomon 5? What?
Yeah.
I think where it says, just look for where it says their locks are black as ravens.
Yeah, that's why I'm like Goldilocks. I mean,
No, not Goldilocks.
Lock of hair.
Not Goldilocks.
A lock of hair doesn't mean that it's
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
Job 30.
like-
That's fine. Job 30 and 30.
or like if someone says like luscious locks, that doesn't mean like
Yeah,
you
we
have
know.
locks,
I know.
you know what
That's
I'm saying?
fine. That's fine.
I mean, okay, so are we slashing that one off?
No, you were slashing. I'm not. You could do it though. You have the freedom and will to do
We're
that.
trying to. You said it describes black
Ma'am,
people. You
ma'am,
said
we're gonna go
there's
to
a
the next
description
one.
that
You
matches
don't
black
accept that one.
What?
We'll go to
Guess
the next
who?
one.
Why are you crashing out right now?
I'm not
What is
crashing
going
out. I'm
on
just saying
with
we
you?
could go to the next one.
Okay, so
Lamentations
if I ask
5,
you, so do we
Job 30 and
cross this
30.
one out?
We'll cross that one out. I'm gonna cross it
Yeah,
out.
I know you're gonna cross it out. That's why I'm saying, like, why are we wasting time with it? You can cross it out all you want. It don't bother me.
Cool. Job
Okay,
30
don't get
and
mad.
30.
It don't bother me. I really am not bothered. It don't bother me, man. You think I don't?
Job
This
30 and 30 says, "My skin glows."
no.
black."
Read the King James version, please.
Oh, okay. All right.
Why does she have to use the King James version?
Don't worry about that, man. Just
No, I'm
use
gonna
it,
ask you, man. That's very
brother. She's reading it. How could you just read it? What? Hey, Christina, what does it say? What does it say,
Hold on,
Christina?
guess who? Hold on, guess who? If you're on the the four bottom boxes, please wait to be introduced.
Amen. Thank you, Rhea.
Did you already verify them?
Thank you,
No, I
Rhea.
haven't, and we can take a chance to do that right now before we get into
Yeah.
it, because I like the way we. I don't know if Dr. Bones is going to be able to hang out for a little bit, but I know for the most part we're going to be up here. So I do want to do the pairing up again. I like the way that works on panel. It just works really well. So it seems like Guess Who is with Rhea. That's kind of how this is kind of panning out. So we're just going to leave it like that. And as you can see, the other co-hosts will interject and ask questions. So please be ready to just kind of pivot and move it, answer different points coming from different directions. We're not going to jump you. We're not going to drag you down. That's not the point of these conversations. But we really just want to have a really robust talk or discussion around the different topics that we have on the board. So that's why we have all these brilliant minds here. So each guest will get a chance to speak with the panel. But I'm going to qualify you now. Guess Who? I already got you. Mute up for me really quick, Guess Who, so we can eliminate as much background noise as possible. Hell's Enemy, are you a Christian? I hate to assume. Hell's Enemy, are you with us? You're on mute if you are. I'll send you an invite to unmute.
Hey, how you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Are you a Christian or a believer in the God of the Christian Bible?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're over 21?
Yes.
Perfect. Go ahead and mute up for me. I'm going to pair you with Fee. Fee's up at the top right, okay? So when it's your turn, we'll let you know. Right now we're talking with, Guess Who's talking with the panel, and then you'll get your turn to talk with the panel, okay? And your name is Christian WWA?
Yes, that's my name.
Okay, Christian. You're a Christian, believer in the God of the Christian Bible, over 21?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to pair you with Thinker. Thinker is right above you. Go ahead and mute up. When it's your turn, you'll get a chance to engage with Thinker in the panel. Again, your primary discussion will be with Thinker, but the other panelists will be able to jump in and ask you questions. Mac P, can you go off mute for me?
Yeah.
Hi, you're a Christian, believer in the God of the Christian Bible?
I'm not a Christian, but I'm a knower of the God that they claim to write about in the Christian Bible.
Okay. Are you over 21?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna put you with Dr. Bowen. When it's your turn, you'll be able to engage with Dr. Bowen in the panel. Until then, just go ahead and mute up for me. Guess Who? We are at Job 30 and 30, right?
Yes, Christina, can you do me a favor? Like the
Want me to
reference.
read it?
Yeah. Can you do me a favor also when you do look these up? Can you refer to the King James only, please?
Okay, can I ask you what your thing is with King James, considering it's one of the worst translations?
Well, there we go. It's one of the best for me. So it's one of the worst for you guys, but it's one of the best for me. That's the only reason why.
All right, love that for you. Okay, so let's read the King James Version. Rita, do you want to read it? You want me to read it? You good?
You can read it.
Absolutely not, sister.
No, you can read it. I really want you to read it. I
don't care what you want. Job 30 verse 30 says, "My skin is black upon me."
All right,
and bones
To burn
are
with heat.
burned with heat.
Okay, now let's go to Lamentations. I think 5 and 10.
Hold on a second. I don't want to take just verse 30. What happened to context? Y'all be whooping us.
Well,
hold on.
Hold on. I'm giving you the context of what I'm giving you is description. Now it says my skin is black upon me.
Crying out to God about how his body has been covered with boils and his skin is falling off and he's been diseased and everything else.
Yeah.
So wait, are we just like? Did we just Google wherever it says black in the Bible, and it's like, is that what we're giving here? Because I'm confused. Where's the description of the black people you were talking about?
We're talking.
Verses where it mentions black.
You notice that she wanted the description, right? Not she didn't want you didn't want the prophecy, right? I know you don't want any of this.
Wait, no.
So you're not gonna
prophecy, but that's the first question that I asked. Guess who? Like, you're all over the place.
Of course but because the Bible is written all over the place. It's more than one book in the Bible.
So I'm asking about one specific thing, right? We can.
All right, so I'm giving you the skin color. I'm giving you the skin.
But you made
hold on.
There's descriptions in the Bible.
All right, ma'am. But listen, really
that somehow match black.
Okay, I understand that.
So show us that.
I'm showing you that. Now, whether you accept it. All right, okay. Listen, let's go. Then, if you don't accept that is talking about his skin color, we can move on to another one. We got Lamentations 5 and 10. Tell me what you think about this.
Lamentations 5 and 10. Hold on.
Continue to tap the screen and share the live out. Thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. We have a gift. Make sure y'all gift in the panelists as well. If you're a Christian and you agree with the host, the guests in the bottom 4 boxes, feel free to support them by cheering them on in the comments or gifting them. You can gift them. It is okay. Please make sure you're gifting the co-hosts. We have Rhea, we have Fee, we have Thinker, and Dr. Zach Bowens. Please make sure y'all are following the top 4. If you like what you hear on the bottom, follow them too. I don't care. Make sure you follow me though. Tap the screen, share the live. If you haven't subscribed already to join the community, please make sure you do so. I have a Discord and some fun stuff coming up. Y'all make sure y'all follow the podcast. I'll take it from here. There's 2 episodes of that y'all this week and from last week. My apologies, it's coming. Rhea has a podcast. Please make sure you're following her on her platforms. Check out the link in her bios to help support philanthropically with initiatives that she has going on, and it's really easy to do. Just a few clicks of a button for you to help change someone's life for the better. Thinker has podcasts, and it's live on Sundays at.
It's 12 Eastern, right?
12
yeah.
Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that. 12 Eastern. I swear I write it down on sticky notes and I clean my desk and get rid of all my sticky notes and I forget the time. Please make sure you're following Thinker podcast, Versions of Vibes with Thinker and Bash. Follow her YouTube channel, Arch Thinker, and make sure you're following Thinker if you want to hang out overnight where she does her live episode, her live shows. Thank you so much. And Feast on everybody's platforms. And Dr. Bowens also graces us with his presence on platforms as well. So make sure you're following everybody. All right, Rhea, did you want to read Lamentations 5?
Yeah.
Hey, Christina, quick question. Quick question.
Lamentations 5:10, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Because I keep reading.
No, I'm asking Christina because she got the with the KJV.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not reading KJV.
We know. I know. That's why I asked Christina. But quick question, Christina. Do you got music?
I'm good with that. That's
What does it say?
Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Now let's go to Revelation. Hold on. Watch this. Do you agree with that? You agree with that, Rhea?
Agree with what?
As far as it being the description of the color of their skin?
No.
Okay, fine. Let's go to Revelation 1:14.
Where's the color?
Never mind. Go to Revelation 1 and 14 then.
Slow down.
I know she ain't gonna agree, man.
It's not a sprint. Slow down.
I'm not sprinting, baby. I really am not. I'm having fun.
All right, never mind. Move on. Let's go to the
No,
next.
but because
I'm gonna reread that, Rhea.
because she's not gonna accept it.
But no,
No matter what I
why
say.
I'm rereading it, because guess who? It says it tells you why. It says
It don't
our
matter,
skin was
man.
black like an oven because of the terrible famine. So for me, and again, like anyone correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like that the reason why even the same thing with Job, that's from like dehydration and poor like circulation. Their skin is like peeling off, and like in Job's case, his skin was like broken and peeling off, and he had boils and blisters and disease. And the same thing, the famine and their dehydration and the sun beating on them where they were in the wilderness is the reason why they're.
Hey, type this in, Christina. Type this in, Christina. Scripture for visage blacker than a coal. Type that in KJV.
I think I'm jumping off.
Amen to that, sister.
You said visage?
Visage. You know what visage mean, right?
Visage.
Blacker than a coal. KJV.
Lamentations 4:8.
4:8. That's what the one I was looking for. KJV. Can you read that?
Sure. Their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in these streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick. Why are you showing me all these sickly folk?
Well, you have. Hold on. You asked me a question, right? All right.
Wait.
No,
What
you
you think black people look like? Is that why you're saying that this
Oh
matches
my
the
Lord!
description of black people? You think black people look like this?
Hey, Christina. You asked me a question, right? Let me answer it. Now, are you familiar with the word visage?
Okay.
What is? No, I'm asking you. Are you familiar with that word?
Okay, yes. Besides the face, countenance, or appearance of a person or sometimes an animal.
That means their face, right? That to give you a description of the color of their face, right?
But do you know what was happening?
No, it matters not what it's not. It matters not what happened. All right, never mind. All right, go to Revelation 1 and 14. All right, I already know. All right, Revelation 1 and 14.
And destroyed Jerusalem. They were starving.
Yeah, that I know. I know.
So their skin is turning black from starvation.
What people's skin is going to turn black though? What skin? What people can white people's skin turn black?
Yes.
All right. Let's move on. Revelation 1:14 and 15.
I already know where you're going.
Yeah. Thank you.
But it says, are you talking about the appearance of Jesus?
Yes.
It says his hair was like wool.
Yeah. And what else?
White like wool. I think. Let me
White like wool. It says color. Yeah, the color.
Yeah, it does say the color. White like, and it gives you the texture also. But
no, it doesn't.
All right, it don't. All right, okay, it doesn't. All right, read. All right, it doesn't. Can you read it though? Can you read it though? 1:14 and 15, Christina, and KJV.
What's the new one?
Where are we going?
Revelation 1, first chapter, 14th and 15th verse.
Revelation 1,
chapter 1.
And KJV, please.
This is verse number
14 and 15.
His head and his hairs were white, like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a
only wanted the 14 and 15th verse.
And I pulled it up, so I'm going to read it. And his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength.
All right. So those are my proofs. Now, those are my proofs of the description.
What in those?
Well, all right. Let's get to the skin color first of all. The skin color. Y'all know what brass is? You know what color that is?
Burnished brass is
No.
what it
Do
is.
you know what
It's
color
what
brass
it
is?
It says burnished bronze.
No. As if it's burned in the furnace. You burn anything in the furnace. What?
Burnished. It's not burnt.
All right. If it's burnished in the furnace, what color is it going to turn?
Because burnished bronze is yellow. It's golden.
Okay, thank you very much. It's golden yellow. Of course it's not. That's not what it's talking about. What color is bronze?
All you have to do is Google.
Ma'am, what color is bronze?
Walking around here with feet that look
Never
like
mind.
black feet.
This is why I didn't want to go there. You're not going to accept it anyway. So I didn't even want to go here.
Burnished.
I was only talking about the strange fruit. I didn't even want to go there because I knew it was going to be a waste of time. That's y'all ideology. This is mine. So y'all can continue with that. I don't care. You could not believe all the scriptures that I just showed you. It don't matter to me. I only really wanted to talk about the reason. These are my reasons why I believe that we are the children of Israel. You don't have to believe that, and we didn't have to even go down that to describe why we shouldn't be wearing crosses around our necks. I didn't even want to go down. This whole we're not even supposed to wear it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I get that wasn't your original intent.
Amen.
But I think what you're missing is that your methodology is problematic. It's not that we're refusing to accept that we aren't the children of Israel. It's just that you haven't demonstrated it. What would
It don't matter,
convince me that
man.
I'm
You're not gonna
of
believe
that
it.
area, or those were my people, would be some sort of genealogical test, not some correlations that are pulled randomly from a book to see how many times it's referenced black or dark. That's just not how evidence works.
Oh, it don't?
No, it's not.
So if I showed you a picture of you to someone else, are they gonna call you a white woman or a black woman?
They wouldn't call me a white woman, but that's
Why?
not
What would they call you, ma'am? What would they call you?
They would likely call me a black woman.
All right, then. So I don't even want to talk about this because it's ridiculous to me.
No, I think what's ridiculous, guess who, is the fact that you're missing the...
No, you're missing the...
Can you let me finish speaking? What you're saying would be like trying to prove somebody as a doctor by finding how many times the word medicine is in something.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, because
that's your interpretation, ma'am.
Can you stop talking while she's talking? What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
It's just that just because a word appears in a text, it doesn't
I ain't gonna
mean
unmute myself.
It's substantiating the way
that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
You've landed and it makes sense to you. Go forth and I wish you all the best, King. That's perfectly fine for you. What I'm saying is that genealogy is proved in a very specific way. I can't find somebody else whose last name is Smith and say, oh, yep, that's my cousin because their last name is Smith too. That's not how it works. I would have to prove through DNA, through genealogical testing, whether or not we are related. So if you're able to do that with people from the Levant region 3,000 years ago, show me that evidence.
Ma'am, so I really hate what I'm doing right now, even coming down from the heavens and talk about DNA and all of that. Did they have DNA in the 1600s?
No, but they have it now.
Did they have it then, though? Answer my question.
My first word was no.
All right, then you answer my question. You answered my question.
Okay, but they
all right, but they didn't then. So how did they trace their genealogy then?
Well, that's a great question, I think. And I think they traced it through records, like through actual documentation to show how one person was related to another person or who were members of the family. It's the same way that our ancestors did with like the Bibles and the names that are in the Bible. They used the tools and resources that they had. However, if they had technology like we do today, it would make absolutely no sense for me today to find a book where everybody's last name was Smith on one side or Hart on another side to determine whether or not those people were related to me when I have a more verifiable way of determining that in 2025. What you're saying ultimately is akin to find a book that has this name or this word, and yep, that means it's me, it's talking about me, when there are ways that you can test your blood to see where your ancestors came from, but you aren't willing to do that. Now, again, that's on you. Go forth and conquer. If that's sufficient for you, I can't tell you otherwise, but it's not going to be sufficient for me.
All right, thank you. All right, can we move on from this? Because this is not even what I want to talk about. I really wanted to get into the cross and and not only that, your strange fruit I wanted to deal with, and the fact that you're asking how does the cross benefit humanity today, and I don't want to hold everybody up. I really didn't even want to go down that path because if you don't agree with my pathology or how I found out, it doesn't matter to me. Only thing that or methodology, whatever word you want to use, it don't matter. Didn't come up here to talk about it, and definitely not to talk to this dude. I'm talking about cross benefiting humanity today, and Christina's talking about the strange fruit and why nobody, not just black people, but especially black people, in my opinion, nobody should be wearing a cross on their neck. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of disrespectful for you to even be doing that in the first place. And besides, if you're a believer in the Bible, you don't believe Christ is still on that cross. That cross is gone. But what it symbolizes is totally different. Now, when it comes to, what it why people might be deceived into wearing it and tying it into what it symbolizes, it's like, you're sacrificing or, dying to yourself in order to be, you dying to your sins or you repenting from your sins or something like that. So they equate that, what his sacrifice meant to that. But wearing a cross and strange fruit and, turning it into a paganistic idolatry is no. Real believers don't agree with that. And the believers that do agree with that, I just think they don't have the information on the origin of it being, from being pagan, or viewing it as idolatry. So I didn't think that I didn't think this day would come, but I agree wholeheartedly with Christina talking about that is strange fruit. Now, her definition of strange fruit came from a music, title.
First, I believe, right?
Yeah, it came from a music title, but my definition of strange fruit is totally different.
But it's not. But here's the thing: the subject matter itself. It's not about the song per se. The strange fruit, where our brothers and sisters and fathers and sons and daughters that were hanging from those trees. It wasn't about the tree. It wasn't about the noose itself. It was about what was hanging from it, right? So believers and Christians will look at the cross and they see who's hanging from it as their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who sacrificed his life for the sins of humanity. And we see that we look at the trees that our ancestors were hung from, right? Though that strange fruit, right? Where their sacrifices were made just for trying to survive. They were trying to
yeah, I mean, I don't agree.
Freedom and survive, and it wasn't. God didn't. I could go down a rabbit hole with this one.
Yeah, that's the rabbit hole I wanted to go down because
my question will always be like,
yeah,
where was God then?
Well, are you familiar? All right, Christina. I know you said you chose that name, but the actual subject matter is about people wearing crosses and like, why would you do that? And would you wear a noose?
It's not so much about wearing crosses. It's about
the noose. I said the noose too.
This idea of this sacrifice on a cross, this sacrifice that was made.
It
wasn't about people aren't necessarily. I understand people aren't worshiping the cross itself.
They are though.
Say things like hide me behind the cross. It's hiding behind the sacrifice of Jesus.
Yeah.
When you look at me, don't look at me. Look at what he did for me. Look, like his blood covers a multitude. Like his love covers a multitude. The sacrifice he made. Right. So I'm not ignorant of the fact that we're not actually talking about the wood in which the nails were.
Well, they are though. But see, I agree.
No, I don't think so. But even when I was a believer, I didn't believe that was.
All right, but let me ask this. This was leading up to my question. My question was, were you familiar? Like, are you familiar with the Council of Nicaea and the different pagan traditions that were introduced into what they call now Christianity, as opposed to what the followers of Jesus believe? The differences. Are you? I think you. I think you're a smart girl. I think you probably educated on that, right?
I don't know why you keep saying stuff like that. I don't know why you keep saying stuff like that, but
I didn't mean it like that. Damn, man.
Be the wrong way.
All right, but all right, I didn't mean it like that. I meant informed. I should have just maybe I shouldn't have said that. I just think that you were informed. I just think that you were informed about or aware.
But I don't understand. But
You're aware that they fuse.
Hold on 1 second, guys. We're talking about, you want to talk about the Council of Nicaea and things like that, right? I don't care about that. I'm talking about, right, this idea.
Well, that's why they're doing it, though.
Christians and believers are paying homage, and they hold this reverential space for the sacrifice of Jesus Christ on this cross. When we have ancestors, I'm talking about I'm talking about my children are home for spring break, and they are going to come in and talk to me.
Okay.
You made me forget you came with my bonnet on. Anyway. So like they hold this reverential space for the sacrifice made by Jesus on this cross, but that ancestor is not ours. And I've said this before. Even if you posit this Jesus character to be true, a true person, he doesn't belong to us. But we will honor this person in this way. Right? It's Easter weekend. I know y'all went shopping. If you haven't, y'all going tomorrow to buy out the store so y'all can look fresh to death on Sunday, right?
Who is?
But we have ancestors that hung from trees just for trying to survive.
That's true.
Have, ancestors that fought and died for us.
That's true.
Being hung, right?
That's true.
Me and my son were actually talking about Emmett Till yesterday because he was talking about what they were learning about the Holocaust and stuff in school.
Yeah.
But I was like, how old do you think Emmett was? And he was talking about, I'm just talking about those.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, all right. We don't have to go into that.
To do with the Council of Nicaea.
Yeah, well, it kind of does, because that's why they're wearing it. But like I said, I didn't think this day would come, but I am in total agreement with you when it comes to, why would you wear that? Because we were just trying to survive, and we were hung from the tree, just like, what I mean. So why would we wear a noose around our neck? So that's equivalent to wearing a cross. So I'm telling her that as far as the strange fruit, I am totally agreeing with you. And besides, I don't celebrate Easter. That was the reason why I brought up the Council of Nicaea. That because Easter is not. It's not.
Guess let me ask a quick question, because you brought up the Council of Nicaea.
I really don't. Huh? Go ahead.
Are you suggesting that the Council of Nicaea was the first time pagan influences showed up in Christianity?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that a lot of the practices, like, for instance, Easter and stuff like that, really is supposed to be about Passover, about, when the children of Israel put the their blood posts, doorposts above the doorposts to allow the angel of death to pass over them. And that became a tradition, or a feast day. They changed it to Easter, and that's a worship of Goddess Ishtar. So it's Easter,
because today's Good Friday. Today is the day that is or recognizes when the crucifixion took place, right? So it's the day that he was actually alive on the cross.
Well, that's what they say. Yeah.
I mean, we called it Easter, but
it's
when
not
we were
Easter.
in church, we didn't call it Easter. We called it Resurrection Sunday. That I don't know.
Neither one of them is biblical.
Resurrection Sunday. So
yeah, it's not biblical.
I say Easter because that's what most people are familiar with when it comes.
Do you know? You know what Easter means?
Isn't it from Ishtar or something?
Yeah.
Like
see, that's why I knew you were informed. So that has nothing to do with the. We don't worship Ishtar. So
I understand that.
So I'm answering Fee's question though. She asked me, is this the first time paganism been? No, I'm not saying that Council of Nicaea was that. I'm really not. I'm just saying, but that is like one of the focal points where everybody knows or familiar with. But that's just giving you a.
My purpose for asking you that question is because there are multiple, there's a lot of residue from pagan influence in Christianity. And
That's true.
That's over and above like the holidays. I personally, I was raised in a Jehovah's Witness religion. So
my God.
I grew up knowing that all of those holidays and things like that had pagan roots.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, though, I think Christianity as a whole has paganism baked in. It's not like a lot of the foundational beliefs of Christianity came from Christianity. The virgin birth, the fish symbol, like all of these things, the burial rites, all of those things that are part of the Christian faith and Christian practices, they have pagan origins. So just by pinpointing Easter, which seems to be one of the most
I didn't stop at Easter though.
Or Christmas or something like that, that doesn't then translate to, okay, so now I have a version of Christianity that is devoid of any pagan influence.
Well, I do though.
It's just not.
Well, I do. So
I mean, Jesus' sacrifice was pagan in nature.
Okay, exactly. Well, all right, well, but I agree. One thing I do agree with Christina is about her definition or description of what she described as strange fruit of thus wearing crosses, and because I just wouldn't do that. I'm sorry, and I know there might be other.
He's missing the whole point.
No, you're trying to look. I know exactly what you're saying.
He doesn't miss it. He just.
I know exactly. I know y'all want me to. Look, I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
He just doesn't want to talk.
No, but I only want to. She told me I can only talk about one, so that's the one I'm only talking about.
You're not even talking about that one. Like,
all right, according to you, ma'am, I'm not. Like, according to you, ma'am, I'm not.
No, because your mouth runs too.
All right, I know.
Like, I know.
And
you ain't saying shit. Like,
of course I'm not.
Trying to say is that your Jesus' sacrifice and the lynchings of our ancestors are the same damn demon. Jesus is...
That's your thoughts, ma'am.
Is crucified for calling himself a God, for calling himself a king. So he was seen as a threat to the Sanhedrin. He was seen as a threat to the Roman Empire. Black people were seen as a threat to white supremacy.
That's why we think Jesus is black.
Damn demon. That's what she's
you're
talking
right.
about.
You are right. I agree. Now what? I agree with you. Now what?
Talk about it, Jay.
All right, I am talking about it. What do you think I've been talking about? What do you think I've been talking about?
You ain't talking about nothing about.
All right, you just came in here. You just came in here.
I've been here the entire time.
You wasn't here the entire time. I saw when you came in.
Guys, stop and engage. Like I don't.
All right, let me just engage because I thought I was talking to you and not all these other people.
Then you didn't listen.
You told me I was talking to Rhea. Now, she didn't want to read from the King James. Now I'm talking to this thinker girl. I want to talk to her.
I just said I wasn't going to read.
All right, I'm just saying, but I'm just talking to you. I don't want to talk to nobody else. All right, I don't want to talk to nobody else. I only want to talk to you. Neither do you.
That's why I stopped talking to you, right?
All right, well, can I finish what my point? Let me finish. Look, man.
You have to keep making some kind of noise. I don't know if it makes you feel better or something. Like, look at
y'all love cutting people off.
Making noise again, like a freaking, I don't know, maybe something's wrong with you.
Something is wrong with me. You.
I don't know what it is, but I honestly lost interest. I got overstimulated, so I went on mute.
All right, Christina, let me say this to you. Let me say this to you.
Doing too much.
All right, she just want to talk.
Words out. Calm down.
All right, I'm very calm, man. I'm very calm. I don't want to talk to nobody that don't want to talk to me. So I could care less, really. Only thing I'm saying is that I agree. Only thing I'm saying is that I agree. Only thing I said is that I agreed with what the topic she said that I could talk about. She said choose one. I chose one. Strange fruit. And then y'all took me down this whole other path I didn't even want to go down. My thing is, and I don't have to agree with you to make sense to you. I don't care if you don't agree with me.
What is strange fruit?
The only thing I'm talking to her.
What is it?
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Christina. Ask me a question.
Okay, I can't. I don't care.
All right, bye.
Okay, I can't.
Yeah, I can't either though.
Bye. Nigga, bye. Because what I'm not gonna do is